Hello, welcome to another episode of Everyday Amazing. I'm your host, Guy Alton. Now, I used to have dreams of being a race car driver, but I realized I didn't have a talent for it, so here I am as your number one talk show host. But I have somebody who is really great at car racing and racing in general, so we're gonna talk to him tonight and see what he has to say and what it takes to be a professional. Stay tuned.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton. Everyday amazing. Everyday amazing with Sky Alton. Everyday amazing. Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
Welcome back to the show. So as always, I'm trying to bring you guys the hottest and most amazing people coming out of Sacramento. And tonight I have one of the youngest guests I've ever had on the show. His name is Julian Sanchez. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great, man. First off, thank you so much for coming on the show. I realize, normally you're in bed around this time getting ready for school. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you, staying out past curfew to...
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So first off, tell me a little bit about how you got into racing.
So it first started he bought me a crazy kart.
Okay.
And I used to just drive around in the driveway, and we always used to look at videos of kart racing, but it was indoor. And then I used to play soccer, but after one season I got bored of it. So then he was trying to get me in a sport. He was always talking to his boss, and his boss said, "You should get him into karting." And my dad bought me a go-kart for my 6th birthday.
6th birthday? Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. You were 6 when you started karting?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, so first of all, why did you get bored of soccer? Any particular reason?
It wasn't enough adrenaline.
Really? Oh, so man, ever since you were young, you at 6 years old, you needed that adrenaline.
Yeah.
Okay. So he gets you your first go-kart. What was that experience like when you first got on the track and took it for a drive?
I was cheesing the whole time.
How fast did you go? Do you remember?
Not fast.
Not fast. Okay, but you were cheesing because you were 6.
Yeah.
And
It felt fast.
So it just felt right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get your first go-kart at 6, and when did you start to go pro and get on a team? Because I understand you're on a professional go-kart team. What's the name of your team?
GFC.
GFC. What does the GFC stand for?
It stands for it's our team owner's name. It's Gary, and every time we would come to the track, they'd always call him the F word because they didn't like him. So it stands for Gary effing Carlton.
Okay. All right. So tell me about how you ended up on your team, the GFC.
So we were in, was it Reading?
Yeah, it was Reading.
It was Reading, and it was still in the little cart. I got in a really bad wreck, and the car was lopsided because it got bent. And that team owner, he came to us because we were looking around to help bend it back. He helped us bend it back, and my dad got his number, and then we ended up...
Made the connection? And
yeah.
So what was it like your first day on the team and your first team race?
It was nervous.
Nervous? Okay. I mean, that's expected, right?
Yeah.
You're a new guy on the team. And now, were you the youngest person on the team, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're the youngest guy on the team. You're new. How did you do? Do you remember how you did in that first race?
I did okay.
Did okay? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You've gotten much better since then, huh?
Yeah.
How old were you when you first got on
I
the
was
team?
8.
So, okay, you started when you were 6, and then when you turned 8, you're already on a professional team.
Yeah.
Do you realize how amazing that is? That's really amazing.
Thank you.
So, what's your favorite part of go-kart racing besides the adrenaline?
I don't know. It's just the feeling is just as soon as you get in the cart and it fires up, it's just it fires something inside you.
I like that. It really sounds like you're really enjoying yourself out there.
Yeah.
would you say is the hardest part about being a young professional kart racer?
The mentality.
The mentality. Tell me a little bit about that. What type of mentality would I need if I want to be a professional kart
There's
racer?
a lot of people, like, they try to talk you down. You just have to stay confident and try to just one year and out the other.
Now, is there a lot of smack talking in kart
Yeah.
racing? Really? Okay. Do you talk a little smack too?
A little bit.
A little bit. Now, I understand that for your age group, you're racing against people who are older than you.
Yeah.
What does that feel like? Like, obviously, I would think it's a little bit more. You makes you a little bit more nervous,
Yeah.
but does it also make you feel proud to know that you're this young competitor and you're stomping with the big dogs?
Yeah, because they all know they're way older, but I'm right there.
I like that. Tell me a little bit about your favorite memory from one of your best races, or maybe a championship that you won.
I think one of my favorite races was, I didn't win the actual race, but I got 8th. So when we first start, you have to be in grades. I was probably 7th, and going into the first corner, everyone just pushed me out the way, and I got stuck in the dirt. So I was dead last, probably 20th. I had to grab my cart, everyone was gone. I got back on the track, I came back from 20th, I was able to catch up. I battled through everyone and ended up 8th.
Wow, that's wild. How did that feel, like that moment when the race is over, knowing that they tried to stop you because they were afraid of you? Realize that's why they did that, right? Because they were afraid of you, And even with them teaming up to try to knock you out the way, you still were able to come back and get 8th. So yeah, I can see why that would be a great memory.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how it feels to travel all over the country and compete in these races. What's your schedule like? How do you keep up with homework and school and being a professional racer?
It's on the weekdays that I am in school, I ask my teacher for homework in advance so I could do it during the trip.
Okay. All right. So you do your homework during the trip.
Yeah.
You talked about mentality earlier with you need a strong mentality to be a racer.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you're not only keeping up with the racing mentality, but also the school mentality, where you're not letting your grades fall behind, and you're still doing taking care of what you need to take care of. I can tell you, when I was at your age, I don't think I would have been able to do it. I don't think I had the mentality for professional car racing. I was still trying to figure out fractions and algebra and all that stuff, whatever. So I think that's really cool that you're doing that. Tell me a little bit about your favorite NASCAR racer. Who is it?
Denny Hamlin.
And why is that?
He's they always try to stop him, but he's always able to come back to the front.
I like that, because that is kind of like your favorite memory, right?
Yeah.
Where they tried to stop you and then you came back. Now, what about Formula One? Who's your favorite Formula One?
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis, isn't he the best ever, right? To do it. What made you like him as a racer?
It was as soon as I saw him, it was almost like an inspiration, because he always was he never won, but he was always so close. And he finally, as soon as he won, he just kept winning.
I like that. It was the Braves, huh? He was a cool guy, right? I don't think there's anybody been as cool as him in Formula One.
No.
I thought he brings a sense of style to it, and I like him too. I think he's a cool dude. Maybe one day I'll have him on the show. I'll get his autograph and tell him to make it out to Julian. So I'm gonna pivot a little bit. I'm gonna talk to your dad, Freddy Sanchez. How you doing tonight, Freddy?
Good. How are yourself?
I'm great. Man, how proud are you of your son to be competing professionally in karting at this age?
I'm say cloud nine. I mean, when we first started doing this, I told him, you know, I'm a mechanic by trade, but I never worked on a go-kart. And I told him, hey, son, you're gonna learn how to drive this car, and I'm gonna learn how to work on your kart.
It's almost like a bonding thing, right?
Yeah,
you know,
and that's kind of how it happened.
You guys were both learning something new together, and did you ever think that you would be this successful, like when you guys first started?
I just told him all the time, you know, it just depends how much dedication you put on it. I mean, we put in a lot of work. My father-in-law used to go with us. Man, we'd be waiting for him to get off of school. We get off of work, put the car in our pickup, drive to the closest track, which is in Davis, and we just burn laps till the sun goes down, and then we'll go home. And he will sit in one corner, I'll sit in another corner. Mind you, I have no racing experience or no racing background whatsoever, so we're just trying to tell him what makes sense for us. You need to do this, you need to do that. And he was 6.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, it was a challenge, and we done really great so far. I mean, we have our ups and downs, and we have actually more downs than ups, but within time, the dedication and all the hard work we put in, you know, it kind of shows, you know. I tell him all the time when he goes racing, like, hey, it's not about winning, you know, it's about doing your best out there. And some of the races that his best races would be in the ones that he don't win. And
like he said, his favorite memory is actually from when he didn't even win that race, but it was just how it all went down, right? Like the challenges he faced and how he was able to overcome those challenges.
That's exactly what it is. And, you know, being 7 at a time, there's a lot of emotions that go with that, especially being that young, and he'll be a little sad because he's like, I could have won, they pushed me, and I'm like, look, son, one day you're going to look back at this and you're going to say, man, that was a good race. And I'm like, you won in my book. I'm like, everybody was watching you. I was like, watch that kid, he's coming in hot. You know, I mean, a few more laps, he would have actually made podium, and I was proud as well, you know, I was sitting there in cloud 9.
Now, as a parent, and you know, you guys came into this sport with no experience, and it's very much been touch and go, and you guys have been learning as you have been advancing. How has the experience been from other parents and just like the culture, right? Because you guys are new, right? Some of these people, their grandfathers didn't, like their grandparents were racers and stuff. And so now here you are, this new family, and you guys are getting into it. What's the culture like for
you know, a
karting
lot of people in the beginning, they're welcoming. It's a really tight community. Once you get into the pro national level, it gets a little like, what are you doing here? You know? And then little by little, they see that you put in the time, and it's like, oh man, he's right there. I mean, they'd see him, and I told him, you know, one day they're gonna know who you are. And man, it was a matter of a year or whatnot, and they're like, oh, Julian Sanchez is here. And I hear people talking, and that was enough for me. You know, that was, at that point, I was like, I think we earned our stripe.
Right,
I'm like, they know we're here.
Right.
And they're like, oh man, Julian Sanchez is here. You know, I was like, yep, we are. And I didn't have to say anything, but at that point I feel like
you kind of earned
my stripes.
Yeah, you guys earned your stripes. No, I can definitely see that. Now, you being a mechanic by trade, what was the learning curve to really work on karts? Was it a huge adjustment or not so much? What does it take to, you know, work on a professional kart?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I'm the kind of guy that say I could pretty much fix anything.
Okay, I like that.
But when I got there, I was like, oh, there's actually a science to it. There's things that work a different way than just making sure that all the bolts are tight, you know. And I did have some mishaps, leaving some parts loose or forgetting about tying the part, and things will come off in the track, and he gets black flag, and at that point his race is over. And I sit there just looking at him like, man, I just failed you, but my bad. So it has happened, you know. When I see it happen to other people, I'm like, man, it happens to the best of us. And we have a really good team and a lot of people with a lot of knowledge that help you out, and having that helped a lot.
I think that's amazing. Hold that thought. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
I'm China Morgan, inviting you to watch me on Sacramento's only late night talk show, Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton. on YouTube, Spotify, and SS Sacramento.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.
Welcome back to the show. So before we took a break, we were talking about the adjustment from being a mechanic to working on go-karts. And obviously mishaps happen, but from what I saw, when you do get it right, it really pays off. Matter of fact, we're gonna take a look at a video actually of you in action and what happens when you do get it right and you're locked in the zone. So let's pull up that video.
On track, we have our micro and mini rock class brought to you by SSI Racing. Your pole setter is Julian Sanchez. And we have a green flag. It looks like Julian Sanchez is going to be on the inside. Luca Popesco is going to be in second. Let's see who comes out in third. Our micro rock drivers were actually on the front row because they out-qualified our mini drivers. Looks like it's going to be Koa Saito running in third, Aiden Go in fourth, Nieva Dizra in fifth. They go to tic-tac-toe. Popescu with the pass going through tic-tac-toe. Where is Sanchez's next opportunity? Let's see if it's going to go into Kramer. Sanchez on the outside crosses him up. Sanchez gets the pass exiting Kramer. They're going to go into Monaco. Sanchez is going to have the advantage going through the gate and coming on the straightaway, going through the banker. What a beautiful move by Julian Sanchez. Sanchez with a beautiful setup.
Man, that was amazing.
Thank you.
And from that race, you earned this, right?
Yeah.
Man, so tell me about that moment. Well, first off, something I want to know. What is the uniform called that you guys wear, and what's the function of it? Because I'm pretty sure like it has some type of function for you when you guys are racing. Tell me a little bit about that.
So we wear heat-proof suits, because like in case we get in a really bad crash and like some type of fire happens, the whole suit will keep the body from flammable. And then we have a rib vest under the suit, so that like in case you like get flung out the car, your body, most of the stuff will be protected. And like right before the helmet, you have a neck brace in case you like land on your head.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like I think of the fun part of karting and stuff like that, but like when you put it that way and tell me all the things that could happen, do you ever get scared about what can happen if you tire flies off or something like that, or you just locked in? It's like, hey, I can't think about that. I gotta win this race.
Sometimes a little bit, but you just gotta try to focus.
I like that. I like that mindset. So there was a moment in that video where the guy was in front of you towards the end, and you took him, right? What does it like that moment? Like, how do you know when's the right moment? Is it just intuition, or is it a science to it, and like a skill that they teach you? Like, how does that work?
It's like, let's say the whole race he's in front of me. I'm every corner I'm studying him, so I know where I'm faster than him. So let's say we're on the last lap, he comes to defend. I already know what he's gonna do, so I go to the outside, and then he goes up and I go down.
Okay, I like that. So the whole match is you got to be watching the field.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost similar to soccer, right?
Yeah.
Because in soccer, you can't just pay attention to the person in front of you next to you. You got to kind of watch the whole field. You got to know where your teammates are at. You know, you got to know where the opposing team players are at. So, do you think that you playing soccer kind of helped transition to professional karting?
Yeah, I think so, a little bit.
Okay, all right, I like that one. So you obviously won this. What was that moment like? Like when you end up taking the race, you get the trophy. How'd that feel?
Really good. Just
Really
like
good.
as soon as you like step onto the podium, it's just a sign of relief that it's over.
Now you say that. Now what about this one? How did this one feel when you ended up winning this one?
That one was good because it took a while to get to first place because the whole race I was just trying to get there, but I couldn't get there, and I finally got it.
What place? So was it like 20 racers?
Yeah.
And okay. And then where were you for the majority of the race? Were you like 8th, 5th?
Like fifth and second most of the time.
5th and second, but that first guy, you were just studying him for the majority of the race, trying to get him.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I liked it. So this one makes you pretty proud.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Very well decorated. Dad, how do you feel about all the trophies that you guys are stacking up?
Good. I mean, I feels good, and at the end of the day, just seeing progress is what matters the most. You know, seeing how he overcomes different obstacles that he faces, and at the end of the day, my wife gets on me all the time because like, hey, he's still young. Why are you pushing so hard? And yeah, from time to time, I take a step back and try to let him have his moment. Later on, talk to him. It's like, look, it's not all about the trophy. It's about how you feel, how you did. Because sometimes, like I said, sometimes equipment will fail. And it's hard for them to take it emotionally because they want to do so good. They think that it's all about that trophy. And for me, it's not. Because I understand how it works. And I tell them, like, hey, you work with what you have. Sometimes you're in the track and something fails, you push as hard as you can and then do your best. And as long as you leave it all in the track, it's a win for me.
I like that. So for you, what's your favorite part of this whole process and journey, and what's been the most challenging part?
For me, honestly, the most challenging part is trying to understand him that he's still young.
Okay, like you just talked about.
Yeah, that's been the hardest part for me because I might talk to him and then later on I get second thoughts like maybe I should have talked to him a little different. And I have to sit back and tell him like, hey, I pushed you because I want you to get better.
Because you're the mechanic, right? But then you're also the dad.
Yeah.
So sometimes separating the two and remembering like, okay, I gotta talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to him as the dad.
Yeah. And then the funnest part, honestly, is after you start this journey, looking back, how far he has come, and being the underdog, being the kid that had zero experience and now seeing all the things he can do now, Before it used to be like, hopefully he don't wreck, hopefully he don't spin out, hopefully this don't happen. Now it's just like, don't get me wrong, I'm still nervous. Every time he goes on the track, my stomach's a mess. But, I'm like, he got this. He knows what to do.
Well, you've definitely prepared him well. I mean, his mental, I can tell just from talking to him, is very strong, and he very much is doing this because he wants to do it and he enjoys it. That's why I was surprised, Julian, when you were like, at 6 years old, I like the adrenaline. I wanted the adrenaline, and you don't hear a lot of 6-year-olds, say that that's what they're, looking forward to most, because that's such a young age. But I think the fact that, you are in this field, I think it's kind of like where you're supposed to be. So what do you want to do as you get older? Do you want to do you want to be a professional race car driver one day? And if so, like which organization would you like to race in?
My goal is to become a Formula One kart driver.
I like that. So you want to kind of be like your idol?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. Now I understand we have some pictures from a slideshow. We're gonna pull those up and have you tell me about them. What was this? Tell me what went on this day.
That's after the race that we just watched.
Oh, okay.
So the kid in front of me, he's actually my friend, and he used to live in Canada, and then he came down here to race, and he's really good, and we had fun.
Nice. I think we had another picture. Was that? There we go. What about this?
There, I always sit on the top of my seat before I get in the car, and I just try to like prepare myself mentally before the race.
Now, how do you, when you say prepare yourself, how do you prepare yourself? Like, what goes through your head, like, when you're getting ready to start a race?
It's just like try to stay focused on the prize, not all the setbacks when they pass you. Just keep focusing.
I like that. I like that. Julian, you are one of the most amazing, youngest guests I've ever had on the show, and I really like, you know, your mindset. You definitely have the mindset of a very serious competitor, you know, at such a young age. You're almost like a Dakota Fanning. I once seen an interview with her. You may not know who she is. You may be too young, but she was a young child actor, and she used to do all these interviews with adults, and they used to ask her about, you know, how was she able to not get distracted and, you know, and act so good, because it's such a big deal. She's in movies, she's so young, and she said, you know, she was just very focused on the task at hand, and she was very professional. You remind me a lot like that. You're very professional, very locked in. And before we go, because we don't have too much time left in the show, I want to play this game with you I like to play, where you pull a card, and then you'll answer the question, and then you'll just tell me a little about it. Pull one from the front, and then we'll see what you get.
Which hobby would you like to spend more time doing? I think soccer. I got back into soccer.
So you got back into soccer.
Yeah.
All right, you weren't quite done with it just yet.
Yeah.
All right, Julian. Before we let you go, we're gonna pull up your social media and everything like that, so we can tell the people where they can support you, where they can check out more of your races. I think we have it up on the screen. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the Julian Sanchez Racing.
Yeah.
And then this GF Karting. And then on YouTube, we can check you out on Julian Sanchez, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then on the right, we have Julian Sanchez, the openfender.com, where they can support.
Yeah, that's in the link in my bio.
Okay. Well, thank you again, Julian Sanchez. It was so great to have you. I won't keep you too longer, because I know you have school tomorrow.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Dad,
No
for
problem.
coming and sharing and bringing them.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Pleasure.
To my audience out there, this has been another hopefully amazing episode of Everyday Amazing. I can't wait for you guys to check this out. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and also on YouTube at Everyday Amazing with Sky Alton. Until next time, I'm Sky Alton. I'll see you then.
Everyday amazing with Sky Alton. Everyday amazing. Everyday amazing with Sky Alton. Everyday amazing. Everyday amazing with Sky Alton.